we're on the English turn. We go to the Navy. We're going to go ahead and continue to blockade this Spanish ship. Now, I didn't bring the Spanish ship out because Nelson would have just intercepted and destroyed it. So we're doing that. We can break off fleets and move in independently if we want. So this one will go 1, 2, and I think I'm going to put them in port with this and take these two and go into port. So what I've decided to do here, because remember we lost the blockade there, those ships escaped. Now I have a pretty good force. I think the French, now that's one thing, when it's one side's turn, I don't look through the enemy forces, and it's hard for me to remember exactly what's there, but I want to say there's 6 French ships there. And now with this English, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 there. Now yes, I'd be leaving a blockade, but if this one tried to do something that I didn't like, I can come out and intercept. Now there is an attrition for ships in the water. Forgot to mention that, and that's something new. That was never like that in the other game. But anyways, so everything's blockaded again except that one. So that's it for the English Navy. But if I was playing the English, I would like that move. Keep an eye on my coast here, and I would keep my forces here still in London. Now we do have Portuguese ships. I think I'm going to move these two with some English ships to there. We really don't need them there right now, and we'll protect them because they can be attacked. The French could have attacked them last turn, and believe me, I was thinking about it, but I wanted to free up some more French ships. That's my goal, to run these blockades and free up ships. And then there's no attrition, no alliance on the first turn. Let's go to the English production. And it's a 1. So the English get 1 production point, 2 production points. Then they do have 1 naval. So we'll keep track of English's navy. And they do have an English ship that was sunk, and you can use regular production points along with the naval production points to buy that. It costs 5, but I want to get some troops here. See, now he has ships here now. We need to get some troops. So I'm going to go ahead and buy 2 English troops. I'm going to go ahead and put 1 there with the transports, and 1 there. So that's good for England. No attrition. It's the Austrians' turn. Now I thought about attacking with the Austrians, but that would just, I think, help the French. So I'm just going to sit there. He's going to have to keep attacking me. The rest of the forces we're going to get down to Danube. So I'll go ahead and move the Russians in and the Austrians in, then we'll come back. So I just moved John. We're going to try to log up this valley to Vienna, and I moved Leader A up. These are high mountains, so it costs 3 movement points to get across them. Now with Charles, it's very tempting to just want to go this way or cut across the Alps here, but by then the French army is going to be here. It ain't like Charles is going to be able to really be able to do something here because Napoleon's watching them. So I mean, that's up to you guys if you want to try it. I still believe one of the best moves is to get Charles back here. We're going to let the cavalry move by itself. We're going to go 1, then I'm going to hit this mountain hex. But it's going to need a forced march to do it. And they're in their own home country, and I think with the home country, forced marching should be good. No, that has nothing to do with it. So anything but a 6, because they're not French. Oh, he just got it. So we got to cross the river here. You can't cross right there. It would have to go here. So we would go 1, 2, 3, force march to Trustees. We're going to leave 1 Austrian in Venice. And we're going to force march Hillard 1 there. Good. Okay, that's it for them. Let's do the Russian production. 3. 1, 2, 3. Now our supply is going to come from here. We're going to have to leave a man. And we don't want to get hurt with our attrition. We're going to keep 5 with the Gustav. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3. We're going to force march him 1. And he's good. We're going to go ahead and leave Bagration with 2. And then the cavalry goes 2, 3, 4. We're going to try to force march him 1. And we got it. Buxhousen and Constantine, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to force march once. And he fell. So that's how we're going with the Russians. They're just moving up as fast as they can. Supply will be coming from here. Okay, I don't bother bringing the force from Moscow because by the time he gets up here, this battle's going to be done. But I like to start moving him anyways and get him up to the Prussian front. Okay, so we're keeping our attrition levels 5 or less. That's what they're good at. That's about the turn. That's what I would do with Austria. I feel really good about clogging up the middle and getting Charles back here. It's the safe play. It's the best play. Now for the French naval phase this turn, again, the English can get a transport and a production point and go 1, 2, 3 and drop it off into Prussia. So with the alliance table and that production point, now they can add 2 to their dice to get Prussia on their side, and that's what I'm trying to avoid in the beginning. So it's very slight odds that the French are going to win this battle, so they're just going to sit there. It's because the English can't leave this blockade just to blockade them, then they free up more ships. So we're just watching each other, and I'm happy with that. I'll only come out and fight if he really tries to move transports. We'll see. So the French are doing nothing in the second naval phase. We're sitting there. I'm just thinking about running that blockade, but I'll wait 1 turn and we'll see. You see, the first time I built 2 men here. This time I produced 4 right there and brought them in. But the next one I'll start putting 2 around on these ports, because you have to start protecting your ports as France. Because the English will start landing troops there. So here we have, so the attrition, I lost 2 guys out of, who was it? It was one of the stacks here. And I couldn't really get this to be overrun because I didn't have enough string points stacked. But I advanced down and the outflank maneuver, that's what I call it. And we're going to do that on John, and this will be the only attack right here. And I'm going to attack from lands. And we're going to try to commit the bout. Add 2 to the dice. And we get it. So now he is committed to the battle. Now here I do make a mistake on the regular rules, page 17, letter U. Item number C, I'm supposed to pick up the Vault's force and put him in the initially hex that declared the battle, and I didn't do that. And we're definitely going to have 2 to 1 on John's force. And we're going to have a morale of, and leadership gives me +2 to the dice, so that's 9, 10, 11 at 2 to 1. 10 plus, small is a D3, D3 at only 2 means he loses 1 man. But he is demoralized 3 times. We have 1 cavalry, 2 cavalry. We outnumber him in cavalry, therefore he's going to lose another one. And so he's eliminated. We're going to occupy that spot with Devout. And we lose 1 French in this battle. That way, because these really going to slow you down, I have movement down here. And he can move across and come from this area too. So we're going to do that. That is the French's October turn. So I'll do the Allies move. I don't know what I'm going to do with the English. I'll have to think about it. But as far as the Austrians go, I think I'm just going to pull back here, get the Russians here, and get ready for the battle. And remember, it's always a good idea to use Leoben as a supply source in case the French cut off Vienna and we want to operate in this area. We can have a supply source from here or Budapest, whichever way we choose. So keep that in mind. Now the Alliance die roll, and you get to add 1 to the dice. And it's a 4. The Prussians do not come into war. Production for the English. 1 each. So let's roll for the Austrian production. Oh, and they double up to 4. I'm going to have to get a leader back there. Help them out. That was my mistake. And the Russian production. They get 3. So I'm going to come back with the Austrian move just to let you know, because Charles can go 1, 3 more movement points for a forced march into the mountains and can attack Devout, who is not very strong. And then I won't advance into the Hex. I'll just stay in the mountains. If Napoleon wants to attack Charles in the mountains, he can. Now, do you cut Charles off? Of course you do. You're just going to run around, you cut him off like you do Mac here. And that means the French forces only have to deal with the Russians if Charles gets cut off. So, I don't think Charles is going to do that again. My best bet is for the Austrians is to get over there and make a stand at Vienna. So the coalition is done. We just did their attrition. They lost a guy here or there, but nothing much. I think the English ended up losing 1. So trying to spread out their troops a little more. The Portuguese ships moved from here to with Nelson right there. And me as an English player, I'm pretty content with just watching those fleets right now. I may split this force up, move in the water, I don't know. But I was okay with just watching it for now. Prussians keep building. Nobody's rolled a 6 yet, except the Austrians on a production level. So here we are with the French, and we got to get to Vienna, and it is winter time. So because these are French and French satellite, and they're not in their home country and it's winter, there's no minuses off the attrition. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we do have 10 here with Napoleon. And so let's start with Napoleon. We have a 3 with Napoleon's force. And it is one man out of here. Take off an Italian. See how many Devout has. 1, 2, Devout has 3. Devout gets a 1. Good. Lance has 6. And he gets a 1. Salt has 5. And that's 1 guy. Lose a French there. Ney is 4. That's a 2. Leader F's okay. Messina has 6. 6 at 3 is one guy. So the French ended up losing about 4 guys here on their attrition. Let's roll for production. 5. Got to start building up around here. Let's go at Bordeaux. Down the Danube. Okay, I decided not to attack Mac. Because if I attack it, I have to retreat them, and then I have to retreat them over my guys toward a supply source, which is just going to be in this direction, which I have nobody to continue to keep them supplied. So I just took Messina and I went 1, 2, 3, 4, rolled for a forced march and got it. So I just want to end up with, I got a couple leaders right here with movable forces, and you know, Ferdinand's just going to have to attack if he wants to try to break out of there. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep him there. I'm using 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got like 11 men there, which kind of sucks, but I'm just wondering, I think I should just bring a cavalry right here, keeping that. And let's bring leader F here. That way I can grab more guys faster as soon as Ferdinand becomes less of a problem. So as we march here, we're marching in stacks of 5. But when I go to attack, I always combine Napoleon with another leader. And that way, he's stronger, bigger force. And then after attack, you will see I will take the other leader that's with them and move him off or advance him or Napoleon, and I split the force back down so they don't get hurt by attrition. So when you march, you kind of keep groups of 4 like that. I like to usually keep groups of 4, 3, 4, or 5 is nice like that. So what I want to do is attack all 3 of these. We're going to have Lannes attack Charles. We're going to have Devout attack the cavalry. And we're going to have Napoleon attack Leader A. And we're going to have Leader A attack Trustees. So there's all the battles. We're going to do this one last. Where is their supply coming from? The supply is coming from Vienna. So no matter what I did here, even if I can reach a cavalry, I couldn't cut the supply because I can't reach this one. So let's just do this. The first battle is going to be with Napoleon. He has 4 guys. Napoleon and Ney. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They have 11 guys. So it's going to be 2 to 1. And we have regular French. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5. So it's 2 morale. Napoleon 3. So it's 3, 4, 5 to just 1. So it's a +4 to the dice. And we have 7. +4. So we're at the max table. So it's a D3 to the smaller force. It's 2, 3, 4. So they're going to lose 2. Instead of me keep picking them, bringing them back, I keep them separated. Now the second battle I said was going to be here. He states he's going inside the city. So we go on top. And we're going to go ahead and assault it. I have a 3. He's doubled to a 2. That's 3 to 2. And morale, everything stays the same. We have a 9 at 1 to 1. Larger force, nothing. Smaller force, 1. Wow, the really losing nothing is quite incredible. So that battle is going to be done. So anyways, let's go to the next battle. And what he has is 4 cavalry. So it's actually 1 to 1. The Austrians are the larger force. And they're going to use their cavalry charge to give them a +1. That's an optional roll. And their morale is 1. So they have a 2. Devout they have a cavalry and a regular. So they do have 2. They have a 4. So it's -2 off this dice. 6 becomes a 4. Larger force is a D1, and we have 4 men in it. So it's still 1 loss. We got to take the cavalry off, and 1 cavalry loss. Okay. Last battle. Charles, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Lance has 5, 6, 7. So it's a 1-to-1. Charles is the larger force, and we are attacking over a river. So that would give Charles I believe it's going to be a 1 modifier. Actually, it's 2. So Charles is going to have 2. 2 for the river is 4. And, okay, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5. Lance has 2, 3, 4. And I'll tell you what, we'll put Lambs in as a cavalry charge also. So it's even up, 1-to-1. Austria is the larger force, 8. And they're both 1-1. Smaller force has 7. So it's only 1 each. But Lance has to lose a cavalry. We're going to take off the Bavarian cavalry. And nobody gets demoralized. So that is the end of the round. Now we decide who's retreating. Now, in our optional rolls, you don't remove the demoralization markers, and you don't have to retreat just because your morale is 0. But we have to roll for surrenders. Now this force is demoralized. He has a 0. He has no leader. And see, me, I just keep withdrawing. There's no point in staying and fighting. You're just going to get slaughtered. So Charles is going to withdraw. Now, he's in contact with Lance, who has more cavalry, so he will lose another guy. And he's going to go ahead and withdraw right there. I think we're going to move Lance into it too. Alright, this one's going to have to roll for the demoralization of his units. Anything above 0, and his leader's a 0, so it doesn't help him. Oh, he only lost 1. Well, actually, he surrenders. So they become prisoners. And then he will withdraw to here. And then we're going to split Napoleon up now. So we're going to take 2, 5. And we're going to go in with Ney. Napoleon will stay behind with 1, 4, 5. And the cavalry, oh, you retreat with more cavalry. Yeah, so this force is actually eliminated. Because the other side has more cavalry. Your demoralization is 1. So your morale is 0. You're going to have to roll for surrender. 3 forces surrender. And that is all of them. This is why usually, now I understand Austerlitz took place up here instead of at Vienna, but in our games always the battles are at Vienna because that's what the French are going for. Charles is the only force that got to retreat intact. But we wiped out the rest of the Austrians pretty good. So they don't have much left here. And that's what we're shooting for. And I like how the system we have set up here. You know, the battalion cadre where each force is supporting the other. All you're going to do is survive a round of battle. Even if you get demoralized, when you get reinforced with a larger force, the demoralization comes off. So that's the idea. Now if the Russians want to try to throw whatever they have in here with Charles and just attack one of these French hexes, that's up to them, but that would be something you'd look at. But we don't want to get thrown out of position either. Basically, we're here to get this whole army to defend Vienna, have one big battle, but we'll see. Because you see, if we get them piecemeal, the French haven't lost a battle here. And I guess that's it for the French turn. And it will go to the Allies. And I'll do all the movement and stuff, and then we'll come back and show you what's happened.